Let's get Tim and Kim up here from Max Digital, who did a recent survey over 3,000 people between the ages of 25 and 55 to better understand how interest in purchasing a vehicle for this core automotive buying audience has changed due to the coronavirus outbreak. So here's some key insights that we're going to discuss. Purchasing patterns have changed less than expected in some key areas. There's been no meaningful shift from new car shopping to used cars, which I'm a little surprised by. Shoppers have become less focused on upgrading and more focused on incentives and deals, as well as health and safety. And the biggest impact of the crisis is to cause shoppers is to slow down the timing of their planned car purchase. I look forward to hearing more on that. And this one, and I think you brought this up on the show yesterday, online buying interest is rising, but it's still a very small segment of buyers. And I know that stuck out for you, right?
Yeah, it did. It's this feedback really is, it sounds like you had a great survey. 3,000, right? 3,000?
Yeah.
That's a great sampling.
So Tim, welcome to the Mobility, Tech, and Connectivity Show.
Thanks for having us.
And thanks for waiting in the wings for Jay and I to get through the opening segment. Usually it goes about 10 minutes.
It sounds like you guys have got a lot to talk about when this is over. That's for sure.
It's an ongoing thing, yes. And like I said, the shows can go a long time. But great to have you here. Kim, you're dialed in from where? Chicago. Oh, I didn't even realize that. We're locals. And Tim, you are in?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay, great. So we got some Yankees and we got some, well, I can't say Confederates anymore.
I don't think we have that anymore.
No more.
We're just Americans here together.
All Americans. So Kim, let's let you set the stage here. As Jay pointed out, 3,000 people. How did you survey these folks?
So we did a Survey Monkey, and we looked at people who were from the ages of 25 to 54. So took like that core audience, and then we narrowed it further for a lot of these questions to just look at folks who were interested in new or relatively late model used cars. So that's core audience that we looked at.
And who were these people? Like, was it a purchase list? Did you go to a website? How did you prompt them?
No, it was general market and balanced to be general market. So we really wanted to know, for the average consumer in those groups, how are things changing?
Oh. I was going to put a link to the PDF. So folks, I put a link to the details of today's program, and in there is a link to the PDF if you want to have the PDF up while we're talking through this. And I'll share my screen at some point.
I think one thing that we did a little differently, and maybe this is what you were trying to get to, Ryan, is that we really did try to put people in the headset of actually shopping. Mm-hmm. So particularly to that online question, I feel like it's over-reported quite a bit. Like, are you interested in online shopping is a very broad question that might have everyone say, yeah, I'm very interested in that. When we were asking the question, we said, you found a car online that you're interested in. Now, what do you do? And just a different way of kind of putting that person into the situation so that they could better imagine what they would actually do.
Yeah, because with surveys and polls, the questions can be so loaded and can skew something in that way. I'm going to share my screen. Now, is the report listing the questions in the order that the surveyee would see the questions?
I think it was, yes. We didn't include all the questions that we asked them, but for the questions that we asked, I think they're generally in this order.
The key ones.
Yeah.
So what type of vehicle are you thinking about? What was the time period of the survey?
It was mid-May. So just about a month from ago.
Okay, mid-May. And were they emailed?
Online. This was online.
Okay. So, that's what I was trying to, where would they have been prompted to fill out the survey?
Wow. Wow, this just jumped out. If you keep going down, when you find a vehicle you're interested online, which of the following best describes what you're going to do next?
That's
Wow. Contact someone 45%.
Absolutely.
There it is, right?
It's incredible, right, Jay?
Wow,
Some
that
things never,
is amazing. Don't tell
things never
Carvana.
change.
Where is this? Show me what
Wow.
page is that on?
I think you go back up.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, there it is.
Here it is.
Yeah.
When you find a
Wow.
vehicle you're interested in online, which of the following best describes? And 45% say contact somebody.
And then 40%. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, even in that online bucket, you're still getting, 7% of people to say, even in an online situation, I need to talk to someone first. And so, people are coming into the dealership at 86% of the time. And more than half of that time, they really want to, know beforehand that that's the right car and the right place for them to be checking out that vehicle.
So there it is. Here's your dealership commercial. Are you thinking of shopping online for your car? You're looking at the computer. It's all going well. And then representative, because that's what everybody says when they get tired of that automated process. They want to talk to a person. This is great information.
It really speaks volumes to the importance of the local dealer. While he or she definitely has to have a good online presence and be able to capture, and you hear Brian Pash talk about, you want to make your online lot just like your virtual lot, just like your online lot. But man, you've got to be there to talk to the customer either by phone, text, or in person, because that's really what they want next.
And when they get a hold of somebody, you cannot drop them. You have to remember who they are,
right.
Have a solid database. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, one of the things that, so my role with the company is I spend a lot of time on the ground at the dealerships talking with managers, general managers, salespeople, and it's converting those online browsers to, on the lot buyers and making salespeople instant experts. Because if you're a guy at the Toyota store and they're calling in on the BMW, that's probably why the customer called, because they want to make sure what you saw online is really there, right? This whole trust factor. But yeah, very interesting. I think that's good news for dealers, but franchise or independent.
Really good news, and it shows, like you said, you want to have that strong online presence, and then you can just carry them right into the physical experience.
Got to be able to bridge the gap.
And then Jay, probably bring it back to that touchless, right? It's that multi-phase buying experience.
What was really interesting there, Jay, was like most people were actually comfortable without any changes. You had 53% of people saying, you know what, I'm ready to go into the dealership and I don't need them to change a thing. And then you had a little bit over 30% of people that said, if you can wear the mask and the gloves, we'd appreciate it. That'd be great.
Do you then have in your survey about home delivery and how how many people feel they need that touchless delivery?
Yeah, you can see if you go back to that question that you were just looking at, see that there's, that 7-8% of folks who are interested in buying online immediately didn't need any other contact. If you add that together with a bucket just below that's saying, yeah, I need some contact, but then I'm ready for delivery, then everyone else was coming into the dealership. But then if you scroll down just a little bit from where you are, Ryan, then it says for everyone who's coming into the dealership, then do you expect kind of delivery there at the dealership? Are you finishing it up? Or do you want to go home and have it delivered? And you can see there's a very small amount of folks that are in the, once I'm at the dealership, I just want to get the car, right? But there are a few people that are like, okay, I did the test drive, now I want to go home, and then I'll purchase it and you can deliver it to me. But it's really small.
Wow. Because again, given, what we're seeing on TV and whatnot, wouldn't you assume it was higher?
So much higher.
Right?
You would think if you got dropped in and just saw the media that, digital retailing and buying something online and having it delivered is dominant within the space. And it's not even close. in Vroom's, their filings before they went public,
Right.
they said that all of 2019 had less than 1% e-commerce. Less than 1%.
And did they state what they thought projections would be and what current statistics are?
I didn't see that coming from them.
Not to get too far into what Vroom claimed, but
we did a dealer study, and they said basically that they expected by 2025 people to be at 34% of the market being delivered, which I think that's pretty reasonable. I've seen some really great things from Bloomberg lately that have been suggesting that, look, while people are going to want more delivery, it honestly is not going to be dominant. It's going to continue to be niche. And I think that's right. You've had they compared it to grocery delivery. And while it, definitely saw a pump here during COVID, most people still want to go to the grocery store and pick what they want to pick. And I think automotive is very similar.
right. Well, and then follow up, I'd be curious if it's going to cost more to get the home delivery, would you still choose it?
Or, hold on, Jay, what if it cost less?
To get home delivery?
What if you could give a discount or an incentive for home delivery? I like where you're going with that question, because I've had dealers conversations to get people to go there is to incentivize customers to get into that process by offering them a discount, an online discount. You'd be surprised. So I think it's a good conversation.
Well, that is interesting, because wouldn't you incur more cost to do home delivery?
I think in the short run, yes. I think in the long run, no. If you're a dealer, I think you want to test this. I mean, I know it's a wacky.
So interesting, man.
But no, I've been in meetings with dealers who are looking to. So think of it this way: like when you go into Walmart with your online order, you get to go to the special orange kiosk and pick up your stuff right away.
Mm-hmm.
Right it's an incentive.
Self-checkout, Jay. Self-checkout.
Incentivize to go online, right? So you can get more people through the system if we can be more efficient.
So you're
let me
using
add this in
volume
there
to offset cost.
I'll add this in there. There's probably a mile radius limit where it makes sense, but you could play the odds.
There we go.
If you offer an incentive to do home delivery, and 75% of those home deliveries are likely to come back for service, you win. And you just eat the loss on the ones that you're not, but you do that.
Right. Yeah. Right. Create a package.
Yeah. So I like the thinking. Now, what prompted you to put that out there? I mean, obviously it's not like the idea just popped in your mind. Have you had conversations, Tim, where that?
Yeah. So I have, and there's this thought process where, if you order things online, you should be rewarded for going on that path. And things like self-checkout or expedited checkout. Think of the TSA at the airport. It's the same thing, right? You're pre-screened. You should get rewarded. Well, you get rewarded by going through quicker. Hey, I did all the work online. I should be rewarded by getting to go to the front of the line. So think of like your dealership XYZ Prime. You get to go to this desk. All your stuff's done. It would just, I really think it would build a ton of value. And I think long term, you'd be surprised. I think we're going to start seeing that.
That's a good idea. So I want to hone in on a piece of data from the same slide where you had noticed, Jay, about the 45%.
Yeah.
But right below that is check out the vehicle at the dealership to test drive. So Kim, my question is, when the surveyee was prompted with this question, were they restricted to one response or could they choose multiple? Do you know?
No, they were restricted to one.
Okay, so that means
what the next step is for them. So that's the bucket of folks that don't call. They just show up.
So combined, you have over 85, almost 90%.
Yeah, and you can see we divided it by new and used. And
right.
So, the used is even stronger in that regard, where new is a little bit more comfortable buying online.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, I mean, frankly, amazed. But it feels very real. It's definitely what people are seeing in the dealerships.
And we talked about these yesterday. There's two narratives going on in the industry. There's narrative A, which is that people don't want a dealer, they don't want to interface, they don't want to physically, have contact. And the narrative B is the local dealer has the edge. They've got the people, the service.
Yeah.
And I think you have I think your 3,000 sampling is enough to put a lot of credibility behind the result here.
Great report.
When you're talking about the trust side, the last piece of the survey on the national side, I honestly found most interesting, which was that the dealerships were more trusted on safety, like taking care of your safety during COVID-19, than a Carvana or a CarMax, and significantly more so. And so that, I think, just underlies this idea of, like, conceptually, I'm okay with buying with Carvana, but then when I'm thinking about putting my body in that dealership, I'm like, I know that guy down the street. I feel a little bit better about that than somebody off the internet. How are they handling all these logistics? It was really interesting to me. Like, in general, what you see broadly is when there is a crisis and when people are concerned about safety, they migrate towards organizations that have been there longer, that are just more traditional in nature. And we definitely saw that within the survey.
Yeah. Did you guys do a survey similar to this last year?
We did one a few months earlier, and we do an annual dealer survey, but no, we were as surprised as everyone else by COVID. So we did not have pre-planning for a benchmark.
Yeah. I mean, I think now you've got a great benchmark. You come back in a year and kind of obviously questions will change. This is promising here. 53% say they're comfortable purchasing through the traditional process at the dealership.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Regionally, you saw the South Central states. So, Texas in the bucket of, 60% plus were comfortable, even more than you're seeing here with the majority.
Okay. So you have the granular aspect of the data from regions.
Yeah, the lower in that area was, not surprisingly, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. They weren't as comfortable without the masks, just given everything they were dealing with.
Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here to make it larger. So, taking into account social distancing and safety procedures, how confident are you purchasing from an online vendor? 21, 25, 36. Now, these are highlighted because they're higher.
Yeah. So if you scroll down just a little bit, we added those numbers together to just make it really easy to look at.
Mm-hmm.
You had both, Carvana and CarMax at 46 versus 63% of people feeling very confident purchasing from a local dealership.
Okay, so you're adding these two columns here.
Yep.
Yeah, and these come about equal. And I have to wonder how many people know about Carvana. I did an interview a few months ago with an auto shopper, had nothing to do with the industry. And she was familiar with KBB and Carvana. She was not familiar with Auto Trader, Cars.com, or Car Gurus, which I found interesting.
Yeah, when you talk to consumers, I've been in the auto industry 25 plus years, and my wife was in the market for a new RAV4, and I said, check out this app, Car Gurus. She loved it. She was like, this is amazing. And she, it's just crazy. You're right, Ryan, how there's so many avenues for consumers. And maybe that's probably why that question came out the way it did. The local dealer, if he's doing a good job, Jay was talking about it before we started today, they're not tone deaf. Local dealers typically advertise with, related to the times.
Yes, they're very good about that.
If I see the local Kia guy get up one more time with the squeegee gun, but they make you feel comfortable. But these national chains and big box retailers, they're not as personable, and could be a little bit tone deaf or stale, and might not hit everybody. So
I think it may also be a impression of experience. Like, I think in general that the dealership staff is potentially older. And that in these times that might make people be like, oh, they take it a little more seriously, you know?
Now, what is Max Digital going to do with this information? What is this? How do you utilize this?
Honestly, we share it broadly with our dealership community. That's it, you know,
Okay.
and it helps us to really inform where we should be focused. So we've got a product called Max BDC that really works on making the handoff just really smooth from anyone calling in that first contact point all the way through the sale. So it helps us to better understand the buying process and build, you know, tools in that way. Oh, thank you. That's great. So one of the things that we did here is just realize we did interviews with BDC reps. And they said, you know what, I've got 4 websites open. I'm trying to find the answer. The pop-ups, this is making me crazy. And your system allows me to search and locate exactly the vehicle that this person is talking about like that. And so it just helps you do that. The other thing that we did that is pretty cool is you send the garage to the customer, you know, so here are the 2 or 3 cars that you're looking at, and then they can make changes in the privacy of their own home and you see those changes. And so, you know, when they're on the call with you, they might say, hey, Jay, I've got perfect credit. I'm fantastic, you know? And then when they're going and looking on their own for monthly payments that they can afford, they might change that to like, I'm a little credit challenged, you know, I didn't want to share that, but here I am. And then when they come in, you show that little barcode. Anyone can pick up exactly their experience by scanning that barcode.
Wow.
So your salesperson is just in there. They know exactly what this person said on the phone by what's in their garage and what they're doing. Did we lose?
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. I mean, that is, I think that is exactly what an online shopper needs to feel that they're being taken care of. It's amazing how much, I don't know if we recognize as individuals how much we expect from companies we interact with.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get an email from a company and I expect that they know me. So when I call, they know me. Right?
Yeah.
And I think we do that.
And they do it so beautifully in a lot of ways, you know, I mean, from advertising as much as you hate it online, that nails exactly what you were looking at. You know, I've got to get a new pair of Nike running shoes. And if I see another ad on it, maybe I'll actually buy them.
It must be that highly targeted advertising that over time we've grown accustomed to without realizing. We say we don't want to be like so highly targeted that if I search for a shoe and then I go on Facebook, I'm seeing the shoe. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, that's freaky. But at the same time, I expect companies to know me.
I don't think that's as freaky as it was just a couple of years ago.
Right.
Well, I think you want us to know you, but don't tell us that you know you. Right?
Yes, thank you. Hi, Jay. How are you? It
also depends on what they tell you they know about you. You know, there's a story of like, you know, the woman that gets a pregnancy test and then starts seeing ads for baby clothes. It's like, excuse me,
hello,
crossing the line here, you know.
But Jay, to your question, or maybe it's Ryan, what do we do with this on the dealership side? By bringing this information to our customers, you know, the managers at the desk or the BDC reps, you know, giving them insight into the way the consumer's behaving, kind of proves the point that, you know, it's not always about discount, price. There is a level of value that if you can deliver online and bring into the store, you know, because there's compression, right? Margin compression is such a hot topic. And it's really tight right now. So that's, you know, on the other side of the product. That's why we do this as well.
You know, speaking to the price shopper, and this could be different now, but it was a few years ago, I was reading probably it was a dealer.com report, and it suggested that about 12% of shoppers are price-based shoppers. Like that's all they care about is
that's
price.
That's what we found too. We did a similar survey way back in the day.
Okay, so 12%, so figure. And the Carvanas, the Vrooms certainly have an edge for that shopper. They have an edge for that shopper, I would think. But that's only 10, 12% of the market. Yeah. And the rhetoric is that it's not even rhetoric, but the reality is that your local car dealer has a lot of other amenities that they can bring to the table, and they can serve that 85-90% of the market.
Play the 80. Let's let the somebody else play with the 20% and lose the gross. I mean, you're going to probably get that. Oh, you'll get a swing at that guy or girl, but
it's interesting you say play the 80. I think that's where recent conversation has been with there's so much talk, discussion, and marketing of the online tools that were there before, but now it's like it's really gotten serious. We're in the 9th inning, and we're gonna win this ball game.
Yeah, there's just so much information out there, but at the end of the day, if you go to search on Auto Trader, Car Gurus, like they don't serve you the ads based on price. It's like who paid the most to be ranked up high, and even Car Gurus is rewarding for those who build their ads the correct way. There's just so much more to it than the price. It's like it's only 10%, 15% of the people. Building value, understanding how the consumers shop, that's where the real gross is. And you guys even hit it before. I know you when you got in here, and I saw what you're doing online, and we can make this smooth, and we could put you in the express lane. Wouldn't that be a much better?
Right on. Yeah. Just park. We'll see you soon. We'll park in spot number 5, and we'll have the Tundra ready for a test drive.
How do you know I was a Tundra guy?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how I know these things.
Ooh, a little eerie there. Talk about personalized advertising.
Before I forget, I want to ask you, have you done surveys on ride sharing?
Yes. We actually, we didn't share the data on that, but we did see what everyone else is seeing, which is essentially ride sharing is a little challenged right now as transportation, and people are really valuing their car as that independence. And, I think that's always been part of kind of Americana. It's like we want to be able to, get out on our own, conquer the West, and
right.
we're definitely seeing that.
We were just starting to see this great acceptance and shift. I mean, right?
What a way to what buzzkill for that whole industry. Huh?
Oh, buzzkill for sure. That is it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to once again revisit. Anyways, I mean, I find ride sharing fascinating.
They're going. I sat in on a Car Gurus presentation yesterday, and they've asked a lot of that question. That data is coming.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I did see a headline just the other day about HireCar seeing a record resurgence in demand for its vehicles. Now, I'm friendly with HireCar, and I love their model, and they fall into that, definitely hit hard category. But I'll be curious to look a little bit further into that to see how things trickle back, back to the state of the norm.
I mean, Uber was looking like a Goliath in the building, right?
Yeah. And I think there's
they
still
were.
Yeah, I think there's still a business model there. I think for delivery, they were definitely pivoting, with Uber Eats and who knows what else they were doing on the side.
Uber compared to Lyft has an edge through this COVID economy because Lyft is very one-dimensional on passenger ride hailing, right? Uber's more concierge and can adapt a little bit differently.
Kim, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I got to share this stat. I had to pull it out. But one of the regional differences that we saw is overall, there were 5% of people that previously had not intended to buy as quickly, and now we're speeding that up, so going the opposite direction. And in the East, South, Central states, so that's Alabama, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Tennessee, that was 14%.
Compared to 5.
3 times as high. And so again, I don't know, I'm not local, but it does seem like for that area, for whatever reason, they're
public transportation switch, maybe?
Could be.
Because there's a lot of articles about public transportation in like the UK and other high density areas, just whether it's concern and plus the article about people filling their tanks, almost once a month. That's fascinating. Yeah. When's the last time that happened? Right.
70s.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. The 70s.
I haven't driven my car hardly at all.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. Lucky where I live. I have everything really close, and I live at the beach. I'm very lucky. I still have everything close. You can only
That's
imagine
awesome.
if you're sitting in your car, you nothing.
Well, guys, this is great data, and
Wow.
really appreciate you taking the time to come up here and talk about it with us. It's been a good, enlightening, and candid conversation.
This has been awesome.
Good time, Ryan, Jay. Great meeting you guys today. Thank you so much.